Good evening and welcome. This is the opening session that we call Ask Me Anything for the April 2026 Tucson Macintosh User Group meeting. So I came up with a question just prior to going live here that I think we should restate. I have one drive that has three volumes that I normally keep unmounted.
Tonight we're digging into
And when I use it for,
his budget proposal reduces the number of
thank you, Alexis. And when I use it for backups, Carbon Copy Cloner automatically unmounts them. But now using Mac OS 26.4, all those sleeping volumes remount themselves when the computer comes out of sleep. So I've told Kevin what I do for it now, and he has some other suggestions. What I do is I highlight all three of them. Luckily, they all appear in about the same place on the desktop and press Command Option E for ejecting them, and they go away. So that's not the action that I really, really want. I want them to just not show up. But that is not what I get. But it's a workable workaround for me. Kevin, what else could I possibly do?
Well, the way I do, well, I actually use both solutions for different scenarios, but there's a file called the FS tab, which is real easy to use, where you list the volume name and it does not mount on boot and or when it sleeps, wakes from sleep. Then when you use Carbon Copy Cloner will mount the drive, do the backup, and then eject the drive. That's one way. There's also software that called Jetison by Clair Software, which works really well.
Hmm.
It's designed to unmount drives when you put your machine to sleep. So when you put your machine to sleep, it grabs the sleep command, ejects the drive safely first, then puts your machine to sleep. So you don't have a bad drive disconnect. And then on wake, it'll mount the drives, but it also gives you options to say which drives you want mounted and which drives you don't want mounted.
Well, that's interesting. I was at St. Clair Software just today during Roger's live cast today. Uh, I had mentioned in the comments about default folder X, which is a utility I use and have used since System 8. And now I really have trouble computing without it because my fingers know all the things I want to do with them. And Susan Clement asked me about it after the meeting via email. And so I did a little lookup on YouTube for some videos and went to the website. So I know where the website is. I might take a look at Jetison.
Yes.
Um, so that's what I know. Are there any other questions from the floor?
I
Well,
have a question. I
I
have a
guess we're
question.
done. Oh, Mark, you have something? Great.
Yeah, I do. Does anybody have any problems with their iPhones? My wife and I both are hitting, touching things and nothing's moving and it freezes. We have to turn our phones off and on. And it's annoying. Is there something we're doing wrong, or is there a glitch in any of this iPhones, or anybody know?
When you're first experiencing it, how are you restarting the iPhone? Are you doing it the proper way or do you actually know the proper way?
I don't know. I turn it off and turn it on. So what's the proper way?
The proper way is you tap the up button, tap the up volume, the down volume, and then you press and hold the power button.
Right. Right, that's the
Okay,
way.
and you hold it down until you see the Apple logo.
Yeah.
Now, if you hold it down and you see the thing to turn it off, but also see the emergency,
Hmm.
you're not doing it right.
Okay.
So it's like a 3-button sequence, and you have to do it within like 3 seconds.
Hmm. Okay, well, we'll try that. Thank you.
So to clarify that, Kevin, you hold down, you don't use the slide to turn off. You just hold down the power button until the Apple logo comes back up.
No, if you hold the Apple button down until the logo shows up, when you get that slide, you'll see 2 slides, one for emergency and one for power. That's not the screen you need. If you tap the up volume, down volume, and then press and hold the power, you'll only see a single slide, the power off. And you
Okay.
just keep on holding it down till the Apple logo shows up.
Okay. So you don't release the power button when you do the slide off.
You don't do the slide off at all.
Oh, okay.
You just see that it's there. And the way you know that you're doing it right is you'll only see one slider.
Good. Good clarification.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Yep, I've got a
Go
question.
ahead, Lori.
So here's my handy dandy little iPhone 16, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just I don't see a consistency. So it's what am I doing or what am I not doing? So usually in the morning when I'm in the shower, I'm listening to podcasts, and I usually have my little trusty sidekick, which is my kickstand on, so that I can see the clock while I'm in the shower, right? So sometimes, and it did it this morning, when it's on its side, I will get not only a clock, an analog clock, but a calendar on one side. It did it this morning, but it was plugged into charge. And I'm wondering if anybody has seen this, if they know it's got to be plugged in and charging when you see both of those, or if it's just an anomaly, because I can't reproduce it at will. I haven't tried plugging it in again.
Yeah.
Excuse
So
me.
Kevin's nodding his head. I think he knows the answer.
Kevin,
yeah,
talk to me.
it's okay. It's called standby mode.
Okay.
And what standby mode is kind of interesting because not just does it need to be powered up, it needs to be at just the right precise angle. You move it 5 degrees up or down, that screen's not going to show up. And as far as the clock being there, and like you could have weather or photos, if you go into your system preferences or system settings on your phone, I think it's under general and then standby. Let me double check. Hold on a second. Nope. If you just go to your main settings,
Yeah.
scroll down, and you will see standby right before the wallpaper. And go in there, and that's where you could turn it on or off, tell it what to show, whether you want to see notifications
And
and
it
stuff
does
like
say
that.
while charging.
Yes.
So that answers the question. It's got to be while charging, because I know I've seen it on multiple occasions, but I only noticed that I was plugged in today. I didn't notice the other times whether I was plugged in or not, and I probably was. So cool.
Yeah, and it could be charging either via power or MagSafe.
Yeah.
Either way.
Okay,
Is that
cool.
what they call nightstand mode, Kevin?
No. Nightstand mode is for your Apple Watch.
Oh, okay, that's right.
And that's where your Apple Watch, when it's sideways, you can see the time. And if you just, like, say it's on your nightstand, all you have to do is tap your nightstand, and that vibration will turn on the display for you to see the time on your Apple Watch.
Thank
Okay.
you, Kevin.
How about you, Denny? You got a little spinning halo over your head, Denny.
Got a beanie
I
on
don't
it.
mean to pick on you, but I guess I am.
A propeller head.
Well, I'm a flyer, so I got to have my propeller.
Oh, okay, okay.
Except
What was that? cartoon way back when we were kids with a dragon and a guy in a beanie with a propeller?
Beanie and Cecil.
Yeah,
Beanie and Cecil.
Beanie and Cecil. And I used to work with a woman like in the 1970s whose name was Nene. Her name was Aline, but her nickname was Nene. And so she had a little Volkswagen Bug that she named Cecil. So it was Nene and Cecil.
It was Beanie and Cecil, the C6 sea serpent.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So that's where propeller head comes from.
I guess.
I don't know if anybody understands what that is. If I call someone a propeller head, they might get mad. I have a question. I don't know. I'm not sure it's so much as a question. Maybe it's a therapy session. I had some really horrible problems with Time Machine. I never really figured out what they were, so I went to Carbon Copy Cloner, and I'm sticking with them. And I don't have my documents and desktop managed by iCloud either because I was seeing weird things happen with that. So I have a new Mac now. I don't know if that's I think that's just incidental. So I have a new Mac Studio M4 now. So I have a lot more memory and I can do some things with it. But I haven't turned Time Machine back on. I'm still using the Carbon Copy Cloner, which works fine. And I'm not using Backblades anymore. I'm just trying to simplify things. And I don't really know what the problem was. And I'm very wary of using Time Machine again. I don't have documents and my question will end soon. And I don't have my documents and desktop turned on. I want to turn that back on, but I'm kind of weary when they get synced up to the cloud, whether they're getting sufficiently backed up by a Carbon Copy Cloner. I don't know if you could probably pull some questions out of that. I'm just very skeptical of iCloud, and because I've gotten burned by it, and I don't think it was me. I think there was something going on. I don't really know what it was that was malfunctioning.
Okay, well, several things to note. Number one is how many computers are you running?
Just one now.
Then you do not need to sync your stuff to the cloud. Okay, but if you were, Mike Bombich, who writes Carbon Copy Cloner, is a genius. I wrote him an email a couple of months, maybe 6, 8 months ago. What's the best way to back up iCloud? And my file's in iCloud. Lo and behold, they came out with an update to Carbon Copy Cloner. When you select the source, you could select cloud files. And in one swoop, it does Dropbox, OneDrive, iCloud, and everything else that's backed up on your cloud stuff. So
is what I Carbon Copy Cloner 7? Is that in
Yep.
That?
That is in Carbon Copy Cloner 7. So what I've done is on my how should I put this? On my main Carbon Copy drive, I back up everything, which is everything that's on my computer. It does some of the iCloud stuff because like my documents folder and desktop are synced because I have multiple computers I use. The problem arises not for backups, but for restoring. So when you restore from the backup, the last thing you want to do is restore your documents in your desktop if they're syncing, because then it double syncs everything. And it really messes things up. So what I've done is I have a backup drive that I use that's not mounted, and I put a partition on there for iCloud backups. And every night, Carbon Copy Cloner mounts that, does only my cloud stuff to that, including incremental backups, which I usually don't use. And that's a good way to back up your cloud stuff. Now, as far as Time Machine goes, I think it's a necessity for everybody if you understand what Time Machine is for. A lot of people think Time Machine is this great backup solution.
Right.
It's not. What Time Machine is for is you're working on a file and you say, damn, I should have saved that before I reworked it or saved another copy. You can go back in time and recover that file.
Yeah.
And if you use Time Machine in that way, Time Machine will work flawlessly every time.
I used it for years. I never had a problem with it until I did. And then it was what it was doing. It wasn't doing incremental backups. It was just backing everything up like every time. So it would fill the hard drive up. And I stripped the whole operating system down. I took all my files off. I rebuilt the whole system. It, and I was still having problems. Like it's like no matter how many times I tried to do everything from scratch, I was having the problem. Like it was following me.
The only time I have seen that is if you have large database files, where even if a bit changes, it'll back up 500 gigabytes of data
Yeah.
or
I can
whatever.
use photo libraries. I use Capture One.
Capture One is another, yeah, Capture One, if you use Capture One, it'll back up that library every time, and that's what'll fill it up. Same thing with VMware. That's why in Time Machine, it gives you an option to knock back that stuff up
hmm
because that's not what Time Machine is for.
Yeah. I wonder if something, I mean, I must have done something. I just don't know what it is. And I don't know if it, like I deserve the kind of wrath that I got from it. I don't know. Just, and now I'm very wary of it. Like I had so many problems with it so many times, like, and I could never really figure it out. I just stopped using it. But now I have a new computer. I don't think that matters really. Um,
No, it's just that what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're backing up basically your documents that you're using on a regular basis, your documents folder, um, un unback up or unselect anything that is a large database
yeah.
because a database is to the computer is a file.
hmm
So
Yeah. I think I mean, after a while, I was trying to do things rationally and procedurally, but I think I was just getting really wrapped around the axle because it just seemed like no matter what I was doing, it was just getting me somehow.
well, if
Uh,
you're anything like me, when you get frustrated, even the slightest bit, nothing that you do will fix your problem. You literally have to take a couple of days away from the computer and
mhm.
go back level-headed and do it.
Yeah, because I'd get up in the morning, I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna calm down, I'm gonna go in there, it's gonna work today, and nope, and the whole weekend would go. I could not figure it out.
Right.
Um, so carbon copy cloner is pretty nice. Yeah, it does something different. I'm not doing incremental backups on it, so it's just doing.
I
I'm a
don't
little
I don't
concerned about that.
I don't like incremental backups because that's what Time Machine is for.
Yeah.
So I do my backups, and one of the things, the drive that you're using Carbon Copy Cloner for shouldn't even be attached to your computer. I keep mine in a safe. I take
Mm.
them out when I do my weekly backups.
So hit the button, get it done, take it and unmount it and put it somewhere else. Basically,
Yeah,
it's like you're.
well, I use I have a couple of NASs, but I have some external 18 terabyte drives. I plug those in and I set up Carbon Copy Cloner to do the first drive and then the second drive. And it takes about an hour. And all my backups are done and I'm done for the week.
Yeah. The only reason I just got an iPad. I've never owned one before. I was thinking about that's why I wanted um, the documents because I have a lot of photos in an external drive. I use Apple Photos. I use Capture One. So that's where my data problems are. That's where I have all my data. Everything else is pretty thin. Um, but I don't have that turned on yet. It would be kind of nice to have those files show up on my other devices, but I don't have to have it. And also, I guess I could create a small drive like in the cloud where I just put things deliberately on it to
Well,
just
one of the things
keep
I
them.
do for a lot of my clients is I'll put a folder on their desktop and call it iPad files. And then you create a folder on um, iCloud, call it iCloud files, and then sync them. So basically what it is, you create the one on iCloud Drive first, then make an alias of that and move the alias over to your desktop. So
Mhm.
anytime you put a file in there, it saves it to iCloud. And it's only the files that you put in that folder.
Mhm. That might work, yeah. So then you're just sharing them, but you're not allowing to iCloud to pull all that stuff up and down at
Right.
will.
The only thing that you have to remember is that when you put files in there for your iPad, you should copy them into there, not move them. Because if you delete them, say you're on the iPad and, oh, I don't need that anymore, that deletes it from the Mac.
Right.
I can't tell you why, Scott, but um, Time Machine works really well for me for somewhere between 1 and 3 years, and then something happens, and I need to erase the drive and start over. And I have it mounted all the time, and it backs up every hour, and it's really not a problem. One thing I do not do is I don't do the um, documents and desktop in the cloud.
Mhm.
Part of the reason is because I'm really cheap and I have a whole bunch of photos on my computer, and it would cause me to go up at least one step in in my iCloud account. But I know someone who does, and that's Marty Gensius, who's a TMUG member, and he's also the leader of a podcast that I'm on and Chris Russellman is on called the Old Mac Gang. And he puts his documents, he buys computers with small drives because he puts the documents and um, desktop in the cloud, and he's happy with it and he likes that and it works for him. And this is a guy who has a Mac Studio. He's got a um, MacBook Pro, and he has two, not one, but two MacBook Neos, a
Mhm.
banana and a grape. Uh,
So you can tell them apart.
yeah. So, it's kind of what works for you is the best thing. But know that most of these solutions work for some people and find the one that works for you.
Thing that was so puzzling about Time Machine is I've had it work for many years, and then I have a problem with it and I fix it, and then I kind of forget that it was a problem. This time it was I had to figure out what it was. Maybe what Kevin just said with the library for sure. I mean,
Mhm.
something I did. It's not like they're out to get me or anything, but I don't know. Just man, I don't know. After a while, you don't trust it anymore. Like you can't figure it out. Like what is going on here? And I probably
Well,
had Time Machine working for 6 or 7 years without a problem, and then all of a sudden, I just couldn't get anything to work.
for me, I've had used Time Machine since Time Machine was a baby.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I tell all of my clients, you should have a time machine at the very least, um, uh, to do your backups. So whatever works for you is the right solution.
Yeah, because the version control that makes me nervous. Because right now I don't have that. I just have
Yeah,
I have a
that's
few
good.
different disks with different backups in it, but I don't have version control. It's very primitive, rudimentary version control right now.
That's what Time Machine's good at. You're
Hmm.
writing the great American novel and you're about 400 pages in, and somehow you delete chapter 3. And how long would it take you to recreate chapter 3, even if you could?
Yeah.
Because you're now on chapter 8 or whatever. So versioning is pretty important.
Hmm.
So are
And,
there
and
any other
one other
any
thing to note that I found out this past week or so, if you do sync your documents to the cloud,
And I
if you
do.
accidentally delete something, from iCloud Drive, within 30 days, you could recover it. I know somebody who lost a folder of work files that he thought he backed up, couldn't find them even on Backblaze because everything was in the cloud. And Backblaze does not back up iCloud. So that's another reason to have a carbon copy cloner back up iCloud to a folder and then let Backblaze back that up.
Is it on Zoom?
Yeah.
You're
So
in the meeting?
you're in the meeting, Tommy. So that's just another way of doing it. But for people that do use Backblaze and iCloud Drive, just note that Backblaze does not back that up.
Yeah, which is kind of, it's weird. It justifies not using it because then what? I mean, why should you have to worry about that? I disconnected Backblaze. I was having problems with that, but I mean, it wasn't Backblaze's fault. I kept like changing my disk and I changed my computer. It gets lost. But Backblaze works well.
I have 7 computers running, so Backblaze doesn't make sense for me because they don't have a plan for household. They have a per device.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been using them for a while though. I mean, they're good. I've never had to call in my data. I think once I had to look for a file or two, but it's nice to have it offsite like that. And it's pretty inexpensive if you're just doing 1 or 2 computers. I think with 7 computers, that would be hard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next
Kevin?
question.
Is it possible to run a second time machine drive?
Yes.
And you just click the plus and add it?
Yep. And what it'll do one drive 1 hour, the next drive the next hour, and cycle between the two.
And when you incrementally add one, you just put it up there and it says, oh, there's a new drive. And so that'll effectively add your time machine space to A plus B.
Yes, but you're sort of.
Okay.
I think that when you get to the point where drive 1 is running out of space, instead of deleting really old backups, it may just move everything to drive 2.
Okay,
but I'm not
it's
100% sure on that. Yeah. I know you
Okay.
add it and it's a set it and forget it type of thing.
Yeah, I think once again, I'm running out of space on my time machine drive, and this time it's a 7 gig drive, and I've got a 5 that I got for something else, and I thought, well, I'm not using it. I might as well put it on there for now and solve the problem.
Well, one of the things is once Apple went to APFS, you could no longer migrate time machine. So it used to be that you could migrate time machine to another drive just by copying everything over. But you can't do that anymore.
I think
Time
that's a
Machine
feature rather
automatically-
than a bug.
Was that Bob?
I think that's a feature rather than a bug. You
Yeah.
got one drive for Time Machine, and it's filling up because it's got stuff back there. It's got copies back 5 years or 7 years or whatever. You start another Time Machine drive, and it's starting from today. And so you have 2 of them. You could take one of them and take it to your office and put it in a drawer in the office, or you could take it to the bank and put it in a safe deposit box. Or what Kurt and I do, we back up to a drive, and we have 2 drives, and we take it over and each drive is 2 partitions, Kurt's partition and Bob's partition. And we take it over to the other guy and swap drives. So I have something off-site that is generally no older than 2 weeks. So that's another way to do it. And so I think that's, one time I counted all of my backups, including the Synology drive and the Time Machine drive and the 3 clone drives and the MacBook Air and the Time Machine drive for the MacBook Air. I think I have 8 copies of all of my files. So if I lose something, hopefully I can find it in that pile of that haystack of 8 copies.
Yeah, well, similar to what Scott was saying before, I have a friend of mine who uses Devon Think, which is a massive database program. And even though all the files are individual inside the database, he was using Time Machine and it was backing up his database. And within a month, he filled an 8 terabyte drive
Jeez.
I can
because
see how.
he has one PDF, and that's a 300 gigabyte database files gets recopied because it sees the whole database
Oh, God.
as new.
Yeah, I could see that as happening. I think it's possible. I wonder if like somehow I had something excluded and then all of a sudden I included it like months ago and didn't realize it. And that's why it started operating differently. I
Could
don't
be.
know. Yeah, after a while you get irrational. So you're kind of scared when
Yeah,
you get on there.
I know. Like for me, the big thing is VMware. I run tons of virtual machines,
Hmm.
and that would fill up Time Machine in a week.
Yeah. And then you just get nuts and I don't know. Maybe you don't
Right.
even see what's in front of your own eyes because it's frustrating.
Anybody
Waiting.
else have any questions? Hi, Gina.
Gina, you're muted right now, Gina.
Yeah, I know.
There you
I
go.
was I was I was saying hi while I was unmuting. Anyway, um I don't know if last month, 2 months ago, whatever, I mentioned I have my mom's iPhone. It's an iPhone SE. And so I want to cancel this on my plan and I want to cancel it. So I uploaded, I think I did this right, everything to the cloud, like to save her voicemail messages and her contacts and some information that I want to hold on to. Um, when I shut her, so I do see them like her messages are mixed in with my the text messages from other people. So when I cancel her phone, will those remain on my phone?
How did you get them onto your phone to begin with?
I think
Yeah.
I uploaded them to iCloud, and I don't even know if I did this right because I was fumbling along. Um, because she's on my plan, I did something with iCloud.
Well, text messages are based on a phone number unless it's an iMessage. But if it was one that she received prior to that, it wouldn't switch over to you.
There,
If you want to save everything that's on there,
right?
there's several software apps. There's one that I used to use called um, 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 Phone View.
Phone view.
Phone View. And what it does is it lets you save the voicemails as audio files, and it lets you save all of the text as individual PDFs.
Okay. I'm sorry, is that one word?
One word. I don't even know if it's still available. It was made by a company called Ecamm, Ecamm. Let me see if they still have it. I know I could download it. Um,
Another app is Imazing.
yeah, but Imazing you have to subscribe to.
Right.
And is this something? It's a one time you want to use it, Gina?
So my mom died a couple of months ago, and I just want to save like her voicemail messages and from my kids to her, phone messages to other people, things like that, text messages that she sent to my kids. Um, I was able to record her voicemail message to an audio file. Um, I'm not really sure before I cancel. I don't, I want to save it. And then when I have time to go through everything as to what's necessary to keep or not, but I want to cancel the phone.
Well, once you cancel the phone number, all the voicemails will disappear.
I know, that's why I'm not canceling the phone. So
Okay.
that's the point of my question. How can I save this to what?
It looks like phone view is not available
Okay.
anymore. Let me just see if I could find, because they had a 30-day trial on it. Let me see if I could go.
All right. Hold on. I'm listening.
Yeah, they don't.
Shut the oven
It
off.
it doesn't look like they sell it anymore.
Okay.
So the other option would be Imazing, and I don't know if you get a 30-day trial on that or not.
So I have to keep paying for it every month?
Well, you cancel it, but
But then I lose access to.
no, because you would export the files to like MP3s for voicemails and PDF for text messages.
Okay. Okay.
And let me see.
While Kevin is researching, I'd like to welcome Steve from OMUG, who's down there with his Memoji and a background from Oregon. And he is our presenter next month, and he is certainly welcome to join us this month and any month that he chooses to do so. Welcome, Steve.
Thanks, Bob. I was just about to put a do not not a do not disturb, but I'll be right back sign up on the screen because I got to run downstairs. I had something cooking in the stove, but I still got a couple minutes before I do that. I'm not leaving the meeting. Thank you for the nice welcome. I always wanted to see what Arizona looked like, and I'm getting a good idea by some of your backgrounds and certainly all the nice faces I'm seeing.
We
Well,
are a handsome group, aren't we?
yeah, very handsome. You'd all make great memojis. I contribute a lot to the Portland, Oregon user group, to their magazine, and I write a column and do some features now and then and such. And a few months back, I had an idea and I pulled it off. I work a lot with the managing editor of the magazine, Lauren Lead, and told him my idea, and he said, "Go for it." So I had to have the cooperation of all the people in the Portland group. So what I did was ask them each to create a memoji of themselves in whatever pose they wanted to, but to make it look like themselves, like mine looks like me, or Oregonians bike everywhere, so you'll see me with a bike helmet on, even in the bathroom. And the make them emoji of themselves. So they all did it. They sent it to me. And so for the cover of the Mouse Tracks magazine, I had all these people grouped together, represented on the cover. And I wanted the officers of the Portland group and past officers, ones that some that were still alive that were still members that I remember from 3 decades ago. And so created it and I called it Wemoji, W-E-moji, and to just represent what community user groups were all about. So it came out really nice. And that's the end of my Memoji speech.
Okay. Okay. Go make sure your dinner's not burning.
Oh,
And
before I do though,
yeah.
Gina with a G,
Yes.
if you go into the phone app and you go to her voicemails, this is what you were trying to preserve, right?
Her voicemails, like whatever I can save from her phone.
Okay. Well, for just the
Okay.
voicemails, when I went into my phone and looked at my voicemails and I clicked on one, it will show me the transcript of the saved voicemail. But there is a share button there. And if you tap that, you can send each of those voicemails to yourself, to your email address or whatever. So you can kind of export each of those one by one.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Oh,
I
okay.
was hoping to be able to just upload it,
Automated. Oh, you mean,
like to an iCloud thing, like just the whole contents of her phone, and then be able to slowly go through as a project, go through her voicemails because I just don't have time to start going through all the voicemails on her phone.
gotcha.
Yeah, but thank
Well,
you.
yeah, oh, sure. And uh, Apple created a few years back a legacy account or a legacy ability. If you had not set that up before your mom passed, this may be a little more difficult to pull off, but Apple will still work with you. If you call Apple support, you're going to have to verify who you are, et cetera, and then verify your mom. And if you got her password to her Apple ID account,
Yeah, she was 95. There was no
okay.
password on the phone, and the phone is on my account. So,
Wow. Okay.
sorry.
Well, I'm doing CPR on myself right now.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean. But Apple support will work with you if you explain the situation to them. And
Okay, that might be an idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
just an idea for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
hmm I'll be back.
Okay.
Also, Gina, I just downloaded and installed on this computer Imazing in trial mode, and it's downloading voicemail.
Okay, so
So I don't. It's in the process. It has 2 minutes remaining, so I'll let you know what it does.
is this the right one?
You have to do it on your Mac. So it's a tool that you run on your Mac, and then you plug your phone in, and it pulls the data off of the phone and does it. It doesn't do it on the iPhone itself.
So I'm plugging her phone into my Mac.
Uh-huh.
At
And
first,
then you
I'm downloading I'm on my Mac, and then I'm plugging her phone into my Mac,
right.
and then
You'll
I
see up it'll show her phone, and then you
okay.
just click on voicemails.
Okay, so it only saves voicemails though.
No, it'll do text messages.
Okay. Okay, I will do that. I'll look into that. That might be just what I'm looking for. And then you said it's free for 30 days?
I don't know if it's a 7 day
Oh,
trial or what it is. Let me see on the website if it even says.
so what happens after that trial period, whether it's 7 days or 30 days?
You just can't use the software, but it doesn't matter because you're using the software one time to export the voicemails.
Okay, that's what I want to say. So if I cancel it after those 30 days or 7 days or whatever, I don't lose the information because it's on my Mac.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
So what I'm doing now is I'm exporting all of my voicemails to an audio, and I'll let you know. Downloads folder, new folder, create. Um, okay, you can only do one voicemail on the free version. You will have to pay for it if you want to do more than a single voicemail. But
Okay.
it's let me see pricing. Does anybody here pay by Imazing?
I have Imazing. I have an older version and I'm not subscribed to it.
Yeah,
But it's
I have the older version. What operating system is on your computer, Gina?
I think I'm up to date. Hold on. It's Sequoia 15.6.1.
Okay, so that's an older operating system.
Is
Um,
it? Really?
yeah,
Sequoia.
Sequoia is the one before Tahoe.
So it's not that old
No,
system.
but
Oh,
Imazing too. I don't believe will run on it.
okay. Because usually
Um,
I get like notifications about updates for the computer, and I didn't.
well, Tahoe is not an update; it's an upgrade. Kind of weird the way that they do that.
Oh, actually, it does show that I can upgrade to it. I'm looking at this. Um, Interesting that I didn't get any notification, but maybe I'll play around with that. All right, not now though.
Yeah, Imazing charges yearly for a single phone. It's $30. I don't know what the best way to do this. You may want to text me one day, and I could go through some suggestions with you on how to do this.
Okay, okay,
If $30 gets you to save permanent copies of all of your mother's voicemails,
right. That might
that's
be well worth it.
that's a
Yeah,
small
Yeah,
price to pay.
yeah. You know, it's her voicemails to my kids or their voicemails to her rather. Um, Happy Mother's Day. Hi, Grandma. I love you. You know, those kind of things and her voicemails. So yeah. Okay.
Okay. Do we have any other questions? We have time for kind of like one more question before we break.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Mark.
Um, Kevin, I have an older computer, the
hmm
27-inch iMac, and I was going to give it to my granddaughter. My wife doesn't think that we downloaded everything off to the iCloud when we got a new one because I haven't used it for a while. If I download it to iCloud and if I already downloaded it, do it again, is that going to duplicate all my stuff that was on that computer?
When you say download it to iCloud, how do you mean? So
Mm,
if you remember when you got that computer, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago?
right.
We moved everything from that old computer to the new computer.
Okay, so then there's nothing missing off of it. Okay,
Right. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing
right. Okay,
missing off of that.
then I don't have to worry about it. Okay, thanks.
But what you should do is erase the computer to DoD specifications and install a fresh version of the most recent operating system that it will run before you turn it over to a relative. Just so it presents itself as if it were a new computer to the new owner.
Yep.
And it will take some time to do the erase, especially if you do the, overwrite it 3 times business. Okay, well, we're at 48 right now. If there's no more questions, should we break now and come back in time for our 7 o'clock start time for the main meeting?
Yes.
And I know Logan's here, so he's doing the main presentation. Ridge is here, he's doing a presentation. And I think I'm here, and I'm doing a short presentation on the tmug.com. So we'll see you guys in about 10 minutes.
Sounds good.